Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is I, Jolting Joe, coming to you from my back porch here on President's Day. What are you drinking? What are you smoking? Got me my freebie Maduro again. Smoked last week, so nothing new there. And then got some Pumpkinator in my Astros koozie here. But, there you go. Yeah. All right, here we go. All right. Let me get this little blast bit here. All right. All right. Cheers, everybody. Mm. All right. Trying to see if it's raining a little bit. I think it's okay. All right. All right. Kind of get into it a little bit, shall we? All right. I'm gonna pull up my phone here, and we'll go to Espen here. So let's see here. Let's see if we got any. What's the top headlines today? Okay. Yeah, first of all, I just saw this one come across today. So, Russell Westbrook of was of the Jazz. Of course, he got traded in that three-way trade between the Lakers, the T Wolves, and the Jazz. Westbrook negotiated a buyout and plans to sign with the Los Angeles Clippers. And so Westbrook will stay in LA, just going to move from the Lakers to the Clippers. But once again, we kind of talked about this before, like how far has Russell Westbrook fallen? Gets traded from OKC to the Rockets, from the Rockets to the Wizards, from the Wizards to the Lakers, from the Lakers to the Jazz, and now gets a buyout from the Jazz, and now he's playing for the Clippers. Also, too, college basketball rankings came out. The U of H Cougars, University of Houston, they are now top number one ranked team in the country. Of course, next month we got March Madness. I've told y'all before, I do have tickets to the Final Four. I will be there. We'll get into more March Madness as that kind of goes on. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it with that. Let's get into a little NBA standings here, and like I said, nothing really too much happening except for the Russell Westbrook deal. Standings though for you here. So Boston's still leading the East at 42 and 17. Milwaukee just nipping at their heels, and Giannis has got a wrist injury apparently. With going on with that, he's going to get reevaluated for that. Hopefully, won't be too long for the Bucks. 76ers, and then you got Cleveland, Brooklyn. Brooklyn's trading everybody, still hanging on to that 5 seed, even though they got rid of Durant, Kyrie, and everybody else. Knicks at 6, and then followed by Miami, Atlanta, Washington, and Toronto, rounding out your top 10 there. Just outside the hunt is the Bulls. Pacers still holding on. Magic really not that far out either. They're only 2 games out of that 10th spot. Charlotte's way out of it. Detroit way out of it. In the Western Conference, we got Denver, followed by Memphis. Then we've got Sacramento, the Clippers, the Suns, the Mavericks. Then we got the 7 through 10, New Orleans, Minnesota, Golden State, and OKC. Golden State defending champions. They're just floating around 500 right now, 29 and 29. How crazy is that? Now, I don't think that the Golden State's going to pull a Rams and just totally fuck up the whole thing here, but they're right there. Just a half game back is the Jazz. Also half a game back is Portland. Lakers still hanging in there. They are below 500, 27 and 32, but just 2 games out of that 10th spot right now. And then bringing up the rear of San Antonio, which I think is on like a 13-game losing streak. And then of course the Rockets, which they're just not good. So it's a battle. I mean, apparently, from everything I've heard with the NBA draft, it's a two-person draft. So you want to be number one or you want to be number two. But if you're number 3, you're not going to be doing too good. So we'll see what happens with the Rockets and also the Spurs there as far as the number 1 pick goes. Also, you've got Detroit hanging in there too. They're 15 and 44. San Antonio 14 and 45. The Rockets 13 and 45. Let's go to some. We'll do the NHL standings once again. Haven't gotten really too deep into hockey so far this year. And Victor Wembanyama, he's the number 1 guy, and followed by they get Scoot. That's basically 1-2 there in the NBA draft. Let's go. Hockey. We got the Bruins leading the Atlantic, followed by Toronto, Tampa, Florida, Buffalo, Detroit, Ottawa, and Montreal. In the Metropolitan there in the East, we got Carolina, New Jersey, the Rangers, Pittsburgh, the Islanders, Washington, Philly, and Columbus. And then in the West, we still got the Texas team, the Dallas Stars leading that one, followed by Winnipeg, Colorado, Minnesota, Nashville, St. Louis, Arizona, and Chicago. And then in the Pacific, we got the Vegas leading things away there, and then LA, Seattle, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, San Jose, and then Anaheim Mighty Ducks bringing up the rear. Hold on, I think I went out. Hold on, I got red light. Great part of the show, watching me light a cigar. There we go. So there you go. All right. Now, since it was the Daytona 500 yesterday, we'll go ahead and talk about that, and I'll also get into the XFL here, and a little golf too. Actually, let me go to golf because I don't know who the fuck won that tournament. It was Jon Rahm. And I don't know what did Tiger do? Let's see. Because that was the Genesis Invitational. Let's see if I can find let's see if I can find that. We had a little golf to talk about. Genesis Invitational here. Let's see here. There we go. All right. So Rahm won it. Who had minus 17, followed by Homa at minus 15. Did Tiger make the cut? I was bad about that because I did not. The cut line was moving Friday. Yeah, he did. He made it. He finished 45th. He shot was 1 under. So that's something we can talk about. So Tiger made his comeback. And I didn't. Yeah, I did. I watched a little bit of the tournament on Thursday. Watched a little bit of it on Friday. I did not see anything Saturday or Sunday. So sorry. But the kind of the big news coming out of that was Tiger outdrove Justin Thomas. This was the first day on Thursday, and then handed him a tampon, and then social media lost their shit. I mean, I get it. I mean, it was a sophomoric joke, kind of a locker room joke. Tiger probably shouldn't have made it as public as he did. Did apologize for it. Didn't apologize that hard for it. Kind of was basically like, sorry if anybody got offended, and that was kind of it for his apology. But there was kind of that thing, and then like once Justin Thomas knew what it was, he kind of discarded it very quickly because I don't think he really wanted a part of it. He knew what a shit show it was going to turn into, and so that was the whole thing. With that, but we'll see what Tiger does. I mean, Tiger, of course. The thing about Tiger, it's kind of crazy because he's got the 15 major championships. I think there's still 3 behind Jack, but he even talked about this on his Friday press conference, which I watched. His back's fused. He's got the leg. He can't dig into the ground on that leg from the car wreck, and it's kind of, I think, with Tiger, like one of those things of like what could have been, if Tiger would have stayed healthy. Obviously he had the personal issues with the drug use and the cheating and all that kind of stuff, but then also too his body just ended up letting him down. with his back and his leg and everything else that he's had to go through. So it is kind of one of those things where, if Tiger's healthy, are we talking about 20 major championships for Tiger? Is he does he get that much? And we just obviously we just don't know because of his body just let him down. So as far as that goes, so there's your PGA. But yeah, John Rahm ends up winning that thing, and so we'll kind of see how it goes here at the heading into the Masters when we get into April. Uh, but yeah, Tiger tied for 45th. Shot was two over on the last day and finished in -1. And I know, like I said, I watched it Friday and he just missed a lot of short putts, and he even said Tiger just said I just miss putts. I just miss putts. Kind of what's all going on uh, with with golf there. So I did not watch the Daytona 500, but I did watch the highlights from the Daytona 500. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. ends up winning the Daytona 500, the 75th anniversary of it. And just real quick, because I know auto racing is not the biggest topic in the world, but hey, we're a sports show. We cover all the sports here on the Jolting Joe Sports Show, or at least we try to. All right. Uh, whether I know anything about it or not, but yeah, the I did watch the highlights and basically the Daytona 500, like the last about 3 or 4 laps, there just turned into fucking demolition derby, and I get the restrictor plates. You got to do it on those big speedways like that. I know I can, because if not, they'd be doing like 250 miles an hour on that motherfucker. But I feel like, especially at the end of the race, it kind of takes away when you have that many wrecks, that many cautions at the end of the race. It kind of takes away from it a little bit, and it takes away some of the excitement of it too, because those guys are literally bumper to bumper. Guys are pushing each other, and one little waggle, one little wiggle, and you're starting a 20 car pile up. And I don't know. I feel like NASCAR needs to do something, especially if they're trying to appeal to the masses. Um, and because NASCAR has gone down the last few years. NASCAR, I think, at its height was probably the late '90s, early 2000s. NASCAR was really, really, really popular, but it just hasn't seen the popularity. It's been kind of on a decline here as far as that goes. And like I said, it is the biggest race of the year and everything. And just like I said, I think it's just when you get when you get bogged down, it's almost like the end of an NBA game where it's just all we're gonna do is go to the free throw line and shoot free throws, and that's it. That's all we're gonna do. It takes the flow out, it takes the excitement out. It's I don't know, I don't know what to do, as far as that's concerned, but. Do you make the restrictor plates a little bit bigger, maybe just allow a little bit more movement with the cars? But once again, like I said, it was just a caution-filled finish. It finished in overtime, and but it does take the excitement of it. Coming down. Is the guy going to pass and stuff like that? It kind of takes the excitement out of racing a little bit. So I don't know what NASCAR can fucking do about it, but it kind of is what it is. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. Uh, I didn't catch much of the XFL either because I was down in Galveston for Mardi Gras. Uh, and tomorrow's Fat Tuesday, so happy Fat Tuesday, everybody. But I did catch the highlights of that too. I did watch all the highlights on YouTube, and like I said, I also watched the highlights of Daytona. I didn't catch anything. But as far as the XFL is concerned, like I said, we're just watching the highlights here in week one. Uh, some close games. The two Saturday games we had, the Vegas Vipers and the Arlington Renegades. That one ended up being 22-20. That was pretty entertaining. From what I could see, the highlights was pretty entertaining. The Houston Roughnecks put a beat down on the Guardians, 33-12. On Wade Phillips, the coach for the Roughnecks, and hopefully, I may go to a Roughnecks game. I did go to the first Roughnecks game last year, so maybe I go to a Roughnecks game. We'll see. We'll see what kind of happens with that. The Battlehawks from St. Louis and the Brahmas, that one was a little bit looked like a hard of a watch. Although I will say with that one did come down to the wire, and it was kind of interesting though because of course in the XFL you can go for you can go for 3 points, so you can go for 2 points. You can kick a field kick the extra point for 1 point, or you can go for two, or you can go for three. And the Battlehawks St. Louis was actually down in that game to San Antonio, and excuse me, and they got the 3 points, got a touchdown, got the 3 points, got the onside kick, ended up scoring a touchdown, ended up winning the thing 18-15. So there you go. And then the Defenders Dragons was a little entertaining. Defenders ended up winning that one, 22 to 18 on Sunday night there. So, the XFL kind of is what it is, but I think the thing about the XFL is I think there's some rules and stuff there that the NFL could use. I like the kickoffs in the XFL because you still get returns, but also safety's not as big as an issue because you're only 5 yards apart. So like you kick off at the 30, so you're lined up at the 30, and then the opposing team's at the 35-yard line, and nobody can move until the ball is kicked. But you're only 5 yards apart, so that cuts down on player safety concerns because you're not doing a wedge, you're not running into each other, but also at the same time you get returns and everything's just not a touchback all the time, and I kind of like that. And then also too, I kind of like the 1, 2, and 3 because like I said, St. Louis, man, I mean they came back with a 3 point conversion. I think that'd be, I mean, I don't know what you do with the NFL. Do you go to that? But I mean, there's some shit I like. There's some stuff I like. So hopefully this incarnation of the hopefully this incarnation in the XFL works. Hope and wish The Rock well. And like I said, I'll probably go check out a Roughnecks game at some point. So we'll talk a little XFL. Um, as far as that goes. So we'll kind of see what happens in as far as that goes. But the big thing that the XFL has over the USFL is at least the XFL's playing in the cities that they represent. All right, so there was a game in San Antonio, there was a game in Houston, there was a game in DC. There was so whereas the USFL is just they're playing everything in Memphis this year. Last year was Birmingham, and so it's like, how am I can't root for the Houston Gamblers if they're not playing in fucking Houston. I don't get it. I don't understand. So, but like I said, if the XFL ends up being successful, maybe there's some rules and stuff that they can fucking look at. So we'll just gonna have to wait and see how it shakes out here. But yeah, it was like I said, I didn't catch any of the games this weekend because I was partying. But yeah, there you go. There you go. Not a lot of baseball news. Spring training is underway now, so the title defense has started for the Astros. Opening day is March 30th. World Baseball Classic starts on the 8th of March, and so we'll kind of get into that. But of course, obviously, with baseball, the big thing is all the new rules. So we got the bigger bases, which is a little bit more for player safety and stuff like that. And then of course, also we get the pitch clock. Big fan of the pitch clock. Love the pitch clock. That should speed the games up. And then also too with the pitchers, you can only make one move, either laterally or forward. So unfortunately, Luis Garcia for the Astros, his cha-cha step, his rocking the baby delivery is not gonna be there because he took at least 2 steps, if not 3, in his windup, and so he's not gonna be able to do that anymore. Uh, but I'm a big fan of the pitch clock. If I can get out of the ballpark in under 3 hours, I'm a happy man. Um, and there's one on the batter too, so which I'm a fan of. Of course, the shifts is banned, so batting averages for left ears should go up. So I'm still pro shift. I get it. I get what baseball's doing, but I think the compromise would have been if you're going to shift, everybody's got to have their feet on the dirt. No more putting the second baseman in shallow right field, which at least you would still have bloop singles. But that's what I would have done personally. I would have compromised on it and said, look, if you want to shift, you can shift, but everybody's got to have their feet on the dirt. You can't put a guy out there, like a rover, basically, because that's basically what the second baseman was like a rover out there. And I get it; it's disproportionate to left-hander hitters. I get that too. So, I mean, I get the argument for it, but I'm pro shift, but I understand why they did it. All right, so you're not gonna get any arguments from me about it as far as that goes. So, yeah, well, we'll see. So that's pretty much all we got this week. I'll keep it short, a little bit short, so not too much really to talk about. But like I said, we got March Madness coming up, and we'll talk a little bit more about golf as it gets going here, and especially with the majors and all that kind of good stuff. So we'll just kind of wait and see how it goes. But yeah, enjoy your President's Day. Hope everybody's having a good day off, and then also too, not only that, but enjoy Fat Tuesday tomorrow. And I'll be down there catching cheap plastic beads made in China and all that good stuff. So, cheers, everybody. Remember, find me on Twitter at JJ Sports Show 63 at JJ Sports Show 63. Make sure you find me there. Make sure you like me and subscribe. And appreciate the show. Y'all have a good one. Cheers, everybody. All right, we'll talk to you next week.